Hey guys, welcome to a match with Mono Blue Cloud Post, and we're playing against 8686. He's a well-known and successful Pauper player, tends to play Blue-Red Cloud Post. He's going to be on the play this match. He mulligans to 6, and our hand here is not very good against the Cloud Post mirror. It's got 2 serrated arrows, which isn't going to be that effective, though we do have Capsize. Repeal also is not that good of a card. We have 3 lands here. I think we can afford to mulligan at least once and try and get something a little bit better. And this hand's a little better. It interacts in the early turns, which isn't that important, but a Muldrifter can be cast on turn 3 potentially. This is a little bad because we're not going to play it for a long time, but I think we'll keep, and he's going to mulligan to 5. So at least having some counter magic. Oh wow, he's going to be a Storm deck actually. So this hand is, well, it's not great, but you're never really going to have a fantastic hand against Storm in the early turns, and he has a Duress for us. So that's going to be even worse here. So we're actually going to be pretty far behind. I wasn't expecting him to play Storm. But like I said, our game 1 against him isn't going to be too great. I would imagine he's going to take the counter spell, which he does, leaving us with an accumulated knowledge. Not too likely that he's going to go off on turn 2. It is a possibility. We do get to try and pull back by casting the AK, and as you see we have a Condescend here, so we're going to attempt to leave up Condescend, and hopefully that'll do something for us. Chromatic Star, we can Condescend for 2. He's going to end up having a lot of mana here, so it might be the case that we just go ahead and Condescend. This will help us try and set up our next couple draws. If he wants to pay for it, he'd have to sack the land, but I don't think he's going to do that at all. I don't think the star is going to be that helpful for him. We're definitely bottoming the serrated arrows. I don't know if we want to keep the land or not. Probably want to keep it, though. Yeah, what we can do is Archaeomancer back to counterspell. I think that's going to be our best bet here. So let's go for that play. We get a little bit of pressure on the board, take the counterspell back, and he may not be able to go off with just the 2 lands. So it should be kind of easy for him if he's got, really depends on what's in his hand. So we'll see. He's got 5 cards. He's debating what he wants to do. Does he want to play through the counterspell, or does he want to get attacked? And so we're not going to play the Muldrifter even as an evoke, but we're going to actually do it now because we have a land to back it up. So we'll be at 7 cards exactly, and we have a Capsize and another AK. The Capsize is actually going to be pretty good for us if we can survive one more turn. Okay, so let's AK for 2 cards. We have a Glimmer Post, so now we can use Capsize. We actually have a third AK, which should be able to draw us into some more counters. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to play the Island instead of the Glimmer Post. And we're going to try and resolve Capsize at his end step if he doesn't go off. And it looks like he may go off here. Manamorphose. So I think in response we can hit that. Not sure what we want to do. Let's go ahead and cast Accumulated Knowledge and see what we have to work with. We have an Archaeomancer and a Compulsive Research. So we're going to let the Manamorphose go because, quite frankly, if he was planning to go off, he would have sacked the lands. Now he's going to Ponder, and this is going to give him the option of trying to find another land. I'm actually going to counter it in the hopes that next turn we're going to Archaeomancer back to counterspell, Or we can compulsive research. I'm going to counter it so that we can try and keep him off of that other land. He's got a second ponder. We'll go ahead and let that resolve because we have no other option. And let's see if he shuffles or not. Chose to not shuffle, so he actually didn't find a land. We can bounce one of his lands, though, which I think might be the better play. We have 7 mana. Next turn we have Ulamog's Crusher. I think we'll bounce one of his tapped lands, the one that produces black. I think that might set him back a ways, and we'll pitch the Curse of Chains. It's not doing anything for us. Okay, he's going to try and go for it, I guess. We have Crusher next turn, but I think we're just going to continue to capsize. We might even capsize. Let's see, we have 8 mana, so capsize for 3, and our Chaomancer doesn't really work. So, let's see. Oh, he's going for it. So, we're just going to F6 because there's nothing we can really do. Basically here what he's going to do is set up his turn, figure out what sequence he wants to storm with. Now if we're somehow able to take this game 1, that's going to be a huge bonus for us. I think we might have been a little too aggressive with our counter magic and with our capsize, but we'll have to see. It's going to be pretty dependent on how well he's able to storm off, and it looks like he's got a fairly decent storm here. We know he has one more land in hand out of these 7 cards. So he's pondering this ponder, which is going to be very important for him to set things up correctly. Could be the case that there's 1 card he likes, 2 he doesn't, or 2 cards he likes even, but he doesn't want to end up drawing that blank. So it kind of, if he doesn't shuffle, we're definitely in trouble. I'll tell you that much. So he does not shuffle. And we'll just wait for him. He plays the land. I don't know if that's, okay, here it goes. And he's out of mana. So we have, wait, let's remove auto yields real quick. We're going to hit one of the tokens on his end step and draw a card off of that. He's got 4, 8, 12, 16 it looks like. Okay. So this gives us even another draw step to hit Echoing Truth. So I think our best shot, he's got 4, 8, 12, 15 guys. I think our best shot is to cast Compulsive Research. And if we don't hit the Echoing Truth, we can Archaeomancer again to try and hit it. So let's do that. And we didn't hit it. We're definitely going to pitch the island. We're going to go ahead and cast Archaeomancer to get Compulsive Research back. And we have time because we're going to gain a lot of life. And we'll pitch a land. Now, it's possible he has Bushwhacker. We can't do a lot against that. Looks like he's going to attack. Maybe he can storm off a Grape Shot to beat us. 4, 8, 12, 15. And he's going to lose 2 guys. Why not get back AK? Good question. Well, that's actually a good question. I didn't think to do that. So definitely a misplay there. Another expedition map. Let's go ahead and try and hit again. I don't know if I want to use the Cloud Post mana or not. I guess we'll just use the Cloud Post mana. And we hit an Echoing Truth, so I think we're good to go here. Let's make sure the coast is clear. Alright, now we're looking really good. So, do we want to play Cloud Post or Glimmer Post? I don't think it matters a whole lot. We can even just capsize this to feel extra safe. And we'll cast the expedition map. Alright, we won the game there. Definitely not on the back of any good play. We just happened to draw our Echoing Truth, which was the answer for that game. I'm not even sure that our capsize was that good, but it did pressure him a lot to try and stop us. So I'm going to board out of all my creature control. I think I'm going to board out of repeals also, because there's not a lot in this matchup we want to bounce. Yeah, we can bounce some tokens. Mana War doesn't seem very exciting either. There's nothing really to bounce offensively. We can bounce things defensively. So this game we're going to play is going to be a lot about counter magic. So we want to bring in Hydroblast. I think we want to bring in Dispel also. Relic of Progenitus I don't think is that exciting. So looks like we have room for 3 Dispel. Can we bring in a 4th? Potentially, but I don't see anything here that we'd want to count. That we want to take out. Deprive, not too exciting, not too unexciting really. I guess I should say. Dispel hits a lot, but Deprive hits just that much more, I suppose. Let's see what could come out. Deprive's a little more late game oriented. Maybe we'll cut it in favor of the Dispel. Alright, that seems good. I mean, Condescend on the draw also seems kind of bad. I think maybe we'll favor Deprive over Condescend. And we're going to go like this and see how that does. Alright, game 2 on the draw. We've got double Echoing Truth, which will be good against Empty the Warrens. Not very good against Grape Shot. So I guess we'll try this and see how it does. I think it's a little slow otherwise, but if he's on Empty the Warrens, we're going to be fairly favored, I think. Maybe not against a Duress effect. Let's go ahead and lead on the Cloud Post. It's generally correct to lead on Cloud Post. He may go off right here. But if he's going for... oh no, he's going for a Ponder, so probably looking for a land. Our hand doesn't have a whole lot of action, unfortunately. I don't even think it's correct to evoke Mold Drifter on turn 3. I think we just want to hope to... okay, he didn't shuffle, so he's going. So let's hope it's an Echoing Truth without... or it's a Empty the Warrens without Bushwhacker. He's going to Manamorphose to get the red. And he needs... okay, it's just a single blue. He's going to need more red than that. Looks like he's got access to it. And if it's an Empty the Warrens, we're just going to straight beat this. Unless it's Bushwhacker, like I said. If it's some combination of Grape Shots, then we're in trouble. It's running a little low on mana, so he's going to need to hit another Ritual. So he didn't shuffle. Gitaxian Probe. Sees double Echoing Truth. Draws the other card. Has a Lotus Petal. And looks like we may just be dying to Grape Shots. So this hand might not have been the best option. So we're at 10, and that's going to be game. So we didn't have anything to interact with this at all, but he did go off on turn 2, which means even if we had a counterspell, it wouldn't have done anything for us. So with our sideboarding, I don't think we really want to change anything. Condescend gets a little better. Deprive maybe a little worse. No, I think Deprive is still adequate. We'll just leave the boarding like this and we'll go to game 3. I think he's going to change up his boarding a little bit. Okay, we're obviously playing first. I don't think we're mulliganing. I think the only thing we're wondering is, do we want to leave up Counterspell on turn 2 or play the Cloud Post out? This is one of those rare instances where I think I'd actually leave up Counterspell on turn 2. To stop a Duress, to stop a turn 2 Storm, and we'll play the Cloud Post on turn 3. Otherwise, we still have accumulated knowledge available. Cast, oh, Sphere. Sphere will resolve. And he may be going off next turn. And we'll play this so that we have Counterspell and Dispel, rather than setting up for the Archaeomancer. I think it's a little more important. So we have to be very careful about what we counter. Obviously, I think we want to counter things that are going to set up his draws. Looks like he's going to duress us. Nope, he's going to... doesn't know what he wants to do. It's going to be tough. I mean, we're not putting any pressure on him anytime soon. Let's go ahead and play the island, and from here on out we'll start playing colorless lands. He's going to probe us, which is fine. So at this stage he has to decide, is he going to try and go off and hope we make a mistake in what we counter? Does he feel he has enough to get around our counter magic? Or does he feel pressured and hoping that we don't draw up some more counter magic that he wants to go off right now? Like I said, hope that we mess up. Or does he feel like, oh, this is a lot of counter magic, I should probably wait? So he's cracking the star, going for a Sign in Blood. So I feel like we can let it resolve. He's going to have to pitch 3 cards, so why not just let it resolve? I mean, he hits a land. Okay, going for a Petal. Going for another Petal. So from here, yeah, okay. Well, might not have been the best to let that resolve. But he did have double Lotus Petal, so he could have cast Sign in Blood and then forced us to... if we had countered it, then he could have gotten around that. So Ponder, I'm going to let resolve. I think the things we want to counter are Ideas Unbound, potentially Sign in Blood at this point, if he's, pretty deep into going off. So here's a star. We're going to let that go. See, I'm not convinced that he's actually going to go off yet. And we have a Hydroblast now, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and just play the land. And we're going to leave up our 4 counter spells and hope that we can disrupt it. But he's got so much mana. Stopping a ritual at this stage is not really that powerful. He might be a little bit flooded from what I can tell. We have another Cloud Post. So when we untap, they both can produce 4. It's almost time to cast Archaeomancer, but we don't even... We don't even have anything to get back with the Archaeomancer. It would just be to present a threat. I don't play the long game with him, but we're going to try. And another Cloud Post, so they both make 6. So next turn I'm just going to play Ulamog's Crusher. They all make 3. They would make 6 total. Yeah, so we're just going to play Crusher here. And do we want to play Archaeomancer? I don't think so. So he knows our hand except for 1 card. And he's going to have to try and go off here. At least I think he has to try and go off. He's going to cast Ideas Unbound, which he probably knows we're going to counter. Or he's expecting us to try and counter it. I think we still try and counter it, though. I'm really not sure what we're going to do. It's really tough to say. He's already cast 1 Sign in Blood and a Ponder. We gotta be careful that he doesn't duress us also. I mean, if he casts duress, we just have to counter it. Because it's going to take the duress anyway. So instead of giving him that extra information, we just counter the duress. It's just a slightly better option, I think. Well, the good news is this is the last game and we both have 20 minutes to decide over every single counterspell choice. So he's going for a Lotus Petal. This is his first spell of the turn. So that is obviously going to resolve. He's so much mana, we're not going to do anything by stopping him. So he's going to wait 1 more turn, it appears. So let's go ahead and attack. He's going to start sacking Lotus Petals, but he's on a 1-turn clock. I think we're going to gain 4 life. And I don't see any reason to inhibit our mana by casting Archaeomancer. So let's just gain 4 life. It's going to make the Grape Shot harder to beat. And then obviously he's got to try and go off this turn. So it's going to be tough. I mean, we have 4 counterspells. Not sure what exactly that does for us, but there's a Dark Ritual. We're going to let that resolve. He sacked one of the lands already. The Dark Ritual just adds mana. He's got so much mana, there's nothing we can do to stop it anyway. We want to stop his draw. The downside is that we're adding to his storm count by doing this. Once again, this just adds mana. I don't think he's really going to run out of that. He's sacking more. He's got a Manamorphose. So this is one of the first things we can counter here. This draws him a card. But it's one of the few things we can actually hit with Dispel. Hydroblast I think we want to hold on to. I feel somewhat comfortable countering this with the Dispel. Not only does it draw him a card, it converts his mana, which he can do already. So that's not that big of a deal, but it keeps him from drawing a card. And it keeps our Dispels from being totally dead. So I think we're going to cast Dispel. Now he's got a Rite of Flame, which is going to add red mana to his pool. Again, I don't think this actually is worth countering because he's got access to red mana. He can sack this, he can add red here, he can add red here. So we're going to let it go. We just got to do the best we can to try and not die. He's down to 5 cards. The storm count is 1, 2, 3, and 4 with our Dispel. So storm count is at 4. And now he's just going all in here. Ideas Unbound, I'm going to counter. I don't want him to see more cards. So that's 5, 6. Storm counts at 6. 1, 2, 3. Grape Shot targeting Ulamog's Crusher. So let's Storm go onto the stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, I way miscounted. I cast 2 spells and he cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 7. So with 7 copies. So I'm going to Hydroblast one of the copies, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which will put him dead if he can't beat anything else. So let's counter one of them. That puts 9 spells on the Storm count, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's got 7 points on this guy, but he's not dead. And we won the match. So that play actually saved us from dying, I think. I mean, he would have killed the Crusher. Let's see what we would have drawn. Island, so we would have played Archaeomancer to get back a counterspell. And from there, we could potentially have lost there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this match. Thank you very much, 8686, for playing with us. And we'll come back and do some more matches afterwards.